Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Melinda and I am a baby boomer, and I wanted to start this YouTube channel to talk about how we can navigate the waters of retirement. Sometimes they're smooth sailing, other times it's really pretty bumpy. I wanted to get a community together of people that are going through retirement, that have navigated the waters of retirement, that are going through that right now. I have been retired for almost a year and a half, and I had been working for a Fortune 500 company in the medical field for about 32 plus years. I had my retirement all planned out for me. I am a planner by nature, so I had planned on when I would retire, where I would be living, whether I would buy another house or a condo, selling my house in the state I was currently living in, or what exactly I would do. I knew I wanted to go back to the state where my children were and my grandchildren and be around them. But I still had another 2 years before I really wanted to retire. Unfortunately, one day after a conference call while I was working, I started having severe abdominal pain, lower left quadrant pain, lower left side pain. And this was excruciating. As soon as I got off that call, I asked my sister to please drive me to the nearest emergency room because something was desperately wrong. We got there, they gave me some very lovely pain medication and did a bunch of scans, ultrasounds, etc. And I was waiting for the results. I knew I had something else going on, and I thought that's probably what it is. But when the physician came back in, he said, "You definitely have what I thought," but he said, "That's not what's causing this tremendous pain. I'm more curious about the cancer that you have. How long have you had cancer?" I looked at my sister and said, "He's wrong. I do not have cancer. He must be confusing me with someone else." The doctor said, "No, this is definitely you. You have cancer, and we need to get this taken care of right away." He gave me the name and number of a couple of hematology oncology physicians and a surgeon and said, "Call right away." I left there feeling absolutely numb. As soon as I got home and cried a little bit, I called my children and said, "It looks like I might have some cancer going on. I'm gonna find a physician, a surgeon, and get this taken care of." I met with the physician, the surgeon, and he said, "I can definitely do this. However, you've got something unique happening in your body, and it's going to be a lot trickier than the normal surgery would be." So after that, we went ahead and scheduled the surgery, and I called my pastor and explained to him what was happening and asked him that if anything were to happen to please do my service, etc. That was very sobering for me. The kids came down, I had the surgery, things went great with the surgery. Unfortunately, I had complications after that. I had to go home with oxygen, physical therapy, home health care. It was a lot. I'd never been through anything like this. I went ahead, obviously took some time off work. I had to take at least 3 months off of work. And that was hard because I was in management and I didn't want to leave my team. I loved working and I loved my team. And I felt like I was maybe abandoning them, but obviously I wasn't. I went back to work after about 3 months, and it was extremely difficult for me. Obviously, I was older. I was 65 at the time. I was older, and my body just wasn't bouncing back like it used to. And it was very difficult to go back to work. With my job, I traveled a lot on planes, driving, etc., and it was almost impossible to do it. I continued to work and try, and at that time I realized I can't keep up with this pace. It was just too much for me. So I made up my mind after a lot of prayer and thought and asking my kids, and decided it was time to sell my house where I was currently living, move to the state where the kids and grandkids were, and let's start this retirement. So I did, and like I said, I'm a planner, and all of my plans went right out the window. Wasn't at all what I had expected. That's the main reason I wanted to start this channel, is because I know there are so many others that are in the position I'm in, maybe not the health issue, which I am fine now. I'm feeling great. And I'm so thankful that I'm able to retire where I wanted to be. I absolutely love retirement. It has been fantastic now that I'm healthy, and I really enjoy it. My biggest problem is trying to navigate those waters of uncertainty. I had a budget all planned for my retirement. Well, that went out the window. And especially with the economy, etc., I always had a company car. I needed to buy a car. I had to have car insurance. I had to pay for my own gas. So all of that was changing. And I had to do maintenance on my new car. And I had to really budget. I was used to basically buying what I wanted when I wanted and have it delivered, etc. Not anymore. Those days are long gone. And I'm kind of relieved. I've had to minimize, and I would like to talk about how I minimized my house and all the things I had collected throughout the years. That'll be another topic for discussion. I also had to change my way of thinking that I am human. I am not going to be here all the time. What do I want to leave my children and grandchildren? Not just monetarily speaking, but the things that are important to me. And I decided my time was the most valuable thing I could give them and they could give me. So I really changed my mindset on what was important. I also tried to change my shopping habits, groceries. While I was living alone, I didn't really cook a lot. I just picked up something or had something delivered. That has definitely changed. I rarely ever eat out. I rarely have anything delivered. And I'm going back to when my children were all living at home and my husband, to planning my meals, that type of thing. I've come across some great recipes on how to make things last, and they're very good. I want to share that in another video as well. I'm single. Unfortunately, I lost my husband, who was my best friend 16 years ago, to cancer. And so I've been navigating all of this for a long time. And then the retirement, learning how to do a lot of things on my own, which actually I've kind of enjoyed, and I am enjoying it. I know retirement was supposed to be rewards of decades of hard work, and it still is. It's just looking much different than it had been before. Here on Retired What Now, I want to talk about retirement living, practical retirement living, saving money for sure, budgeting, finding purpose after work. That was one of the most difficult things for me. I'd always been a wife and a mother and worked for this Fortune 500 company in management, and I loved it. But now I needed to slow down. Obviously, I wasn't working any longer, so I needed to find my purpose after work. I also needed to really listen to my body and do more self-care. My body was telling me for years something was going on. I really didn't pay attention to it. I should have. It could have saved me a lot more pain, financial problems that I had because of my surgery and how much money that cost me. Even though I had great insurance, I still needed to pay several $1,000s. And I really want to talk about a whole litany of things that have worked for you in retirement, things that are working for me in retirement, things that have not worked out so well for me in retirement, and what I've done. I would love to hear what your challenges have been, if any, and what you've done, how you're finding retirement. I wanted to make a community of like-minded people. I am a boomer, and I know things look so much differently than what we probably had anticipated when we retired. Growing up looked a lot different than it does now, and things have definitely changed. So I want to make a community where we can talk to each other, come up with ideas together, share ideas. There's a lot of information out there, and I'd like us to be able to sort through that together. Retirement is not the end of the story. It's just the beginning of a whole new chapter. So let's do this together. If you would please like, subscribe, and wait for my next video, which will be coming up very soon. I have a lot of topics that I would like us to cover. Please leave your comments, good or bad, any suggestions. I will read every single one of them and I will reply to you. Again, many, many thanks and welcome to my channel. Retirement, now what? We're gonna do this together. Have a great day and take good care of yourself. Remember, listen to your body.